Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Folk Arts in the Age of COVID. And this week we're doing interviews. So tomorrow morning you will find that I've posted a list of potential questions you can ask the person you're interviewing. And for today, I'm going to model a short interview with my mother. And then later this week, you'll see a short interview with my father and one with my landlady, Sue Silkworth. So it's just gonna be short little videos, and I'm gonna model what we would do, whether it's a short video or a long video with my mother. So today is Sunday, May 17th. Yes, May 17th. Everything's a little fuzzy now in the age of COVID. And I am Zooming with my mother, who is in Oakland, California, where she lives with my father in a place called Piedmont Gardens. And they have been under quarantine for quite a while. And you will see when you see my father, who apparently is growing a beard. And today I asked my mother to choose her interview topic, and she has chosen the topic of her college career, which I think is really apropos given that this is the time when all of our high school seniors are graduating. But my mother's story is a little bit different. So this is my mother, Susan Kahn Levy, and Mom, I'm just going to let you start, and I'll hop in with questions if I need it. I want you to start with your original college career when you were 18, and then, if you can remember, and then move on to the other one.
So when I graduated from high school, I applied to the University of Washington in Seattle, where my parents had gone to school, and I was accepted. And I went to school for a year, and then I got married at the age of 19 and a half. And so I never, at that time, of course, finished my college education. In the meantime, I had done a lot of volunteer work. I had become a docent at the Oakland Museum. Became a docent in the art department. I also learned sign language and gave tours to the deaf, although sign language for me was quite difficult, particularly to read what the deaf were signing back to me. And I think it's probably because of the way I learned to read, which was sight reading, and that's my theory anyway. So years went by, and I had four children, and I decided in 1985 to go back to college. I applied to John F. Kennedy University in Orinda, California, and gathered all of my transcripts and came in there with about 72 units. I believe I had to have 180 to graduate. And so I went to John F. Kennedy. It was a college that catered to all kinds of people, but mostly there were women there. And I worked full time, but I didn't have any children at home. And my husband backed me up and prepared all the meals. And so I went to school after work and on weekends. And eventually got to the point where there was a class offered in credit by assessment. In the meantime, I had majored in liberal studies, so there was a lot of religion, anthropology, cultural anthropology, and I can't remember what the third discipline was at the moment. I'm looking at my degree, which I'm very proud of. So credit by assessment meant that I could assess all the things that I had learned through life, write about them, have my writings. I had a mentor for each discipline. I did leadership, sign language, the art, fundraising. Um, I should have looked at my booklet because this book that's here. Anyway, I was able to earn 30 units by credit by assessment. And in 1989, in December, I got my degree. I thought I wanted to go into teaching, which Kennedy was offering as a new course in the following fall. So I had to take some psychology class and I took another class in, I think it was meeting planning or something like that, which was a graduate class. And in June of 1990, I formally received my degree. At the same time, uh, Eleanor's younger sister received her master's in therapy from San Francisco State. So we were happy to have a big party together. I heard very recently that John F. Kennedy University is closing, and that makes me very sad. They're going to be, parceling out their courses or disciplines to other universities. They have a law school that is quite well known. So I was very happy to finally have a degree. I think it's something I always really wanted. And I was very proud of myself, and so the family was too. So that meant that I was dead-ended in a job and so I started looking for a job, and I ended up at the University of California, Berkeley, and not as a teacher, of course, but on the administrative side. And I was administrative assistant to two deans, one who I worked for 4.5 years, who retired, and then another one who came in, and I worked for another 4.5 years. And then my age and my years of service added up to 75, and I retired. But working at the university was a lot of fun, very interesting, a lot of responsibilities, poor pay, but I had my degree, and that made me very, very, very proud. And as I say, I'm sitting in my office den, second bedroom, and I see my degree up on the wall. And that really is hopefully encouraging to people who have waited. You can always go back, you can always work it out, and no matter how long it takes, um, you can do it.
How old were you when you started back? Do you remember?
Well, let's subtract 1932 from 1985. Um, I guess I was
53?
in my, or could have been.
Yeah, that's what I get.
Okay, well, I was 53.
So you were
And I
58
was,
when you got, so that means you were 58 when you got your
yeah,
diploma.
it's been I've been retired for 21 years now.
Well, when mom says she's retired from jobs that actually pay, but this woman is nearly impossible to get a hold of on any given day because she's so busy with the things that she does, which in the past have included, as she said, doceting. She volunteered for the Red Cross for a while. She has also, and maybe after, still volunteers with a group that helps people who are aging out of the foster care system. She was bat mitzvahed at the age of,
Oh, was it that? That was 2006.
so 72, I think that would be, or 73. So she still reads from the Torah when she can. She leads Shabbat services at Piedmont Gardens. She served as president of their homeowners association,
No,
or
our resident council.
a resident council, and now she's secretary of the resident council. Among other things that she still does, walking the neighbor's dog so she can get out every day. So I'm really as much as we sometimes clash, I'm really, really impressed with this woman and proud that she's
Thank
so.
you, Eleanor. I also run the library here as chair of the library committee. I have a wonderful group of people who, you know, um, do the work, kind of the boss. But I'm a bookman's daughter. My father owned a bookstore in Berkeley, California. So um, it just became kind of natural to fall into the library.
So any of you out there who listen to this, as many of my colleagues will, my grandfather's bookstore was Sathergate Books in Berkeley. What street was it on, Mom? On
Telegraph Avenue.
So what was off of Telegraph Avenue though?
Well, but originally, if you're know anything about UCB, it was where Sproul Hall is now, just beyond
Oh,
the entrance of what they called Sather Gate to the entrance to the university. Uh, when the university took over that block from Sather Gate to Bancroft, the bookstore moved down a block, and then the bank wanted to take it over, and so they moved around the corner on Durant for a
right.
while, and then eventually, well, after my father passed away, one of his employees owned the store, and eventually Sather Gate Bookshop faded away. But many people remember it. One of the professors in the landscape department at UC Berkeley used to tell me it was his church. So that was many of them who are older, of course, remembered the store. It was really very famous. It had a lending library, and it was very well known west of Chicago for many years.
And for those of you a little younger, if you remember where Kips is on Durant, it was like right next door. And I think now it's like a copy center or a coffee shop or something. But you know, I the occasional times I'm still out there, I do go and at least stand in front of it. Mommy, thank you very much for doing this with us. And we're gonna hang up now and stop recording, and then if you could help Pop set up for his interview,
Okay.
we'll do his next.
Did you send it? You need to send.
I did. I sent it to him too.
Okay.
Okay,
Thank you.
I'll call Dad. Is he gonna do it on his iPhone?
On the